I got my butt surgery, which, by the way, it was not a BBL. We need to like stop spreading this rumor because
who says that?
The people at work keep saying that I got a BBL.
Well,
clearly, I did not.
Oh God, Ruby. 1738. Hey, what's up? Hello.
Oh my God.
Welcome to episode 38 of Hyper Talkative Podcast. I thought that was good.
So white.
I thought that was pretty.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
17. One time, when I was working as a cashier, the person's total was 1738, and I started laughing, and it was this like dad, and he was like, "What are you laughing about?"
Someone doesn't know Fetty Wap.
And I was like, "You have a son. Ask him." And then I don't think he did.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, welcome
back to the podcast, Hyper Talkative Podcast. You might notice that we both look a year older.
Yeah.
That's because we had birthdays.
Yeah. I'm now in my 20s.
Thank you, everyone who sent us gifts and wished us a happy birthday.
Nobody says.
It was literally so awesome, and like we're just so grateful.
You guys really shouldn't have. I don't even have room for all
the
gifts I received.
Like, whoa.
Like, oh my, and all the money and all the prospects.
You did not have to do that.
Guys, like, stop. I'm blushing.
So nice. We still are answering your questions, guys.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's
just get right into it.
Get right into it.
Yeah. Should I pick a number?
Yeah, pick a number 1 through 3.
2.
Okay. This one's good.
You say that every time.
Do I?
Yeah.
They're all just good. Katie Sarro asked, "Is a hot dog a sandwich?"
No.
I agree.
No. Anyone who says, look, here's the thing. The bun is connected.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a sub is not a sandwich. The hoagie or a sub, it's a little bit closer to a sandwich. But still, when the bread is connected, I feel like that's not a sandwich.
So would you consider a hot dog a sub or a hoagie?
No.
Yeah.
A hot dog is a hot dog.
That's what I always say.
And at the end of the day, that's it.
We're the hot dog experts, guys. You've known this since episode 1.
Why do we need to confine hot dogs to be why do we need to limit them? We don't.
They're their own special category of magical goodness. I would not consider it a sandwich. Because a sandwich to me is like bread,
meat,
like a bun, or like bread, meat, lettuce.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, like a hot dog is not that. A hot dog is like awesome.
A hot dog is also bun and meat, but it's different.
But it's not.
It's not like lunch meat. Also, I think even a loaded hot dog would still be a hot dog.
Yes.
That's not a sandwich.
It's its own thing. And I think it's also because there's so many different ways to have a hot dog.
People just try to put labels on everything.
We don't need to do that.
We don't need that.
Just let a hot dog
hot dogs.
Just let a hot dog do its thing. Why do you have to have it all figured out?
Yeah.
You don't.
Why do you have to make it a sandwich? Like, literally leave them alone.
Yeah.
I'm Ruby, by the way.
I'm Georgia. Thank you so much, Katie, for your question. That was a good one. You know us so well.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed at the sandwich people now. And look, a sandwich is my favorite food, but...
A sandwich is your favorite food?
I love sandwiches.
Okay. I thought it was soup.
Yeah, but lately, it's because it's summer. I've just been in my sandwich era.
Do you put chips in your sandwich?
Yeah.
Good.
Duh.
I think that's the best thing ever.
Do I put chips in my sandwich?
Cheese, turkey, lettuce, Doritos.
Ooh, that is literally just summer at the pool. That is summer at the pool.
It's so good.
Yep.
Even barbecue or sour cream and onion.
Or just plain.
Just kettle cooked.
Any chip.
You got to get that crunch in there.
I put kettle cooked on my sandwich yesterday.
Good.
And it was awesome. Mm-hmm. And it was turkey and lettuce and cheese.
Yum.
And mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Why did I say
mayonnaise?
And I put little dried basil leaves in it.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. And there's an ongoing thing at work. So I'm just going to talk about this real quick. So at work, there's a cafeteria, and most days I don't pack my lunch because I get lazy. So I go and I buy a sandwich. Mm-hmm. And for a while, I would just get a BLT.
So
Every time. And it started getting to the point where I was like becoming a regular. They knew my BLT. They knew I didn't want anything else on it besides B, L, and T, and May. O, M. And then
BLTM.
the one guy that works there, I don't even know his name, but I just love him. Every time I see him, he brightens up my day. And he always would laugh. He's like, you have to try something new sometime. And I was like, I will someday. Last week, I tried the Pennsylvania pretzel sandwich.
Ooh, I love pretzel sandwiches.
Turkey, bacon, ranch on a pretzel roll, lettuce, tomato, pickle on the side. So good.
So good.
And now I haven't gotten a BLT since then. I've been eating that. Era. And I ran into him after I got it. I was like, guess what? I didn't get the BLT. And he was like, what? And I was like, I got the pretzel. He said, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. I said, I knew you would be. I knew you would be.
Would you classify that sandwich as a hot dog?
Yeah. No.
They're not the same category.
No.
Case rested.
Yeah, that's the thing. Would you call a sandwich a hot dog? No. So a hot dog's not a sandwich.
Exactly. Oh Mic drop. Nothing else needs to be said.
Anyways, let's just generate this word.
Here we go. Hospital. Have you ever been to the hospital, Ruby?
Yes.
How many times?
One when I was born.
Pack it up.
Not like that many times. I think only like maybe a few times when I was little, but then the only time I can really remember going for myself was in the winter after my surgery.
The butt surgery.
Okay.
Who remembers?
And I thought that I was dying, and I thought it was getting infected, and so I had to go back to the hospital, and I go to the emergency room. When I think of hospital, I mean emergency room.
Yes, me too.
Okay. Because, like, the hospital, yeah. Well,
it's the emergency room. We'll go with that for this.
So, yeah. And then I waited for, like, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and I had to get blood work done. And I also, like, when I get anxiety, I poop so much.
The P word.
And after having butt surgery, like, it was just really not convenient to do that. And I was so anxious at the hospital that it was just nonstop. And then they had to look at my booty, and I was like, I'm so sorry. It was bad.
I just pooped,
it was
guys.
it was bad. It was not fun. Not Jane, oh my God. My mom and Jake came with me. My mom brought knitting, and then I ended up doing the knitting.
Aww.
And then she was like, do I have to come? Like, can Jake just take you? And I was like,
I would appreciate
really
if you were there
would like
too.
you to be there, because I was getting so anxious that I like felt like I was going to throw up and stuff too. So it was not fun. Everything ended up being fine.
Yeah. Look at you now.
Look at me now.
Life is awesome.
Yeah. So that was really the most memorable time for me.
I haven't been to the hospital for myself.
Knock on wood.
Since I was born, of course.
Wow.
Shout out Holy Spirit. Which is like,
was that where you were born?
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy
I was
Spirit
like,
Hospital.
Okay.
Mechanicsburg area people know what I mean.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like that's very off-brand, because I like am very clumsy, and I feel like I injure myself a lot.
Yeah.
But I've never been to the hospital for myself. I did, however, go to the emergency room this semester.
I forgot about
for
that.
my dear friend and roommate, Noelle Tois. I came home the one time.
I forgot about this.
And Noelle and Joanna were on the floor. Not weird.
No, that's normal.
I spent so much time on the floor. And then I, of course, laid down. And I was like, why are we on the floor? And Noelle was like, I can't get up. And we were like, okay.
Was Joanna just laying with her for fun, thinking she was fine?
No, Joanna knew.
Oh, I thought Joanna was just like, oh, cool, we're laying on the floor.
No. And turns out Noelle literally stepped out of her car and just had back pain, and then couldn't get up the stairs. So she laid down, and then we were like, okay, we should get up, like whatever. And Noelle couldn't get up. Like Joanna had to.
That's so scary.
You know how like when your dog is really old and you have to wrap them in like a shirt and then help them up that way? We had to do that with her.
Oh.
And by we, I mean Joanna. And when she couldn't get up, we were like, okay, like this is serious. We're going to the ER. So we went to the ER. They got her a wheelchair. And it was kind of fun.
I mean, it is exciting.
Yeah.
It's like you feel kind of like special.
It's kind of like a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're
sitting there with your head in your hands, like,
yeah.
oh my God, like stressed out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's horrible because like people are there like really sick or injured.
Right.
But, you know.
For the plot, it's fun.
Yeah, it's like it's like an experience.
Noelle was literally fine. I think they gave her like painkillers.
Yeah.
And they worked and she was fine and we got pizza on the way
Seeing all
back.
the people like running in and out.
Yeah.
It's like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, literally.
Every single time, all 2 times that I've had surgery, when they wheel me back and I'm in the room and they're like getting the anesthesia, I always say, I feel like I'm in Grey's Anatomy.
You would.
And then I pass out from the anesthesia.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. No, I wasn't in the hospital when I got my wisdom teeth out. You're at like the wisdom teeth place. What do you call that? The
oral surgeon.
The oral surgeon.
Yeah.
I remember
anesthesia's weird.
I was so mad. I've gotten anesthesia. I got anesthesia when I got my 2 front teeth pulled out. And then when I got my wisdom teeth out, it's weird.
It's
like
weird.
I remember when I got my wisdom teeth out, they like want you to talk.
Yeah.
So they start asking you questions.
And you're like,
and I remember I was like telling them a story and I woke up and I was so mad that they had done that to me. I was like, I didn't get to finish my story. Let me back in.
Oh.
And there's a really funny picture of me when I got my wisdom teeth out where I have like gauze in my mouth and I look like I'm on drugs and I have a peace sign up. Yeah. You got yours out.
I got mine out.
Not when we were friends.
No, it was 2020.
Were we friends when I got mine out? No.
No.
I got mine out in 2020
oh my
as
God.
well.
Mine was August.
Mine was December.
Oh,
okay.
Cool.
Aww.
I just remember counting backwards and then I fell asleep and then it felt like 2 seconds and then I woke up. And
did you cry? You seem like you would cry. Yeah.
In the car on the way home, I cried because I missed Maddie and I cried because I was listening to Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
My mom was like, how do you feel about Bruno? And I said, I fucking love this man.
Yeah.
I have a video of that.
Some things never change.
Yeah. When I got my butt surgery, which by the way, it was not a BBL. We need to like stop spreading this rumor because
who says that?
Work. The people at work keep saying that I got a BBL.
Well,
clearly I did not. I did not. I'm not going to disclose what happened, but I did not get a BBL.
Squash those rumors. Did you get put under anesthesia when you got your BBL?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I knew that subconsciously.
Yeah. That was like a major surgery.
Yeah.
Well, it was bigger than wisdom teeth. I got put under. So I got there. I had to sit in the room for like 2 hours. They had to put me on all the IVs. They had to like prep me. I was starving. I was so hungry.
Right, because you can't eat.
Couldn't eat, couldn't drink. I was just like, the one thing, and the purple gown. Literally, I looked so good. I was taking selfies, and now every time I shop, I'm like, is this the gown?
You should have just taken it.
I should have. I took the socks and the cup. But so I remember I was like laying there and they started wheeling me back and I got motion sick. I was like, whoa, guys, like we need to go slower.
Right now.
And then they take me back in this room. It's like all just like stark white. And I was looking around like, okay, guys.
This must be what it's like to be born.
Yeah. And they were like, take off your glasses. And I was like, guys, I literally can't see anything. And I'm dizzy from moving. And then they like hooked me up to all this stuff. And I think they put a mask on me.
Okay, yeah.
Which that didn't happen, I don't think, when I had my wisdom teeth out.
I don't remember.
I think they just put it through the bag.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh.
That's crazy.
I
That's
literally
so
was like
crazy.
Grey's Anatomy. And then I started feeling really dizzy. And I was like, am I supposed to be feeling dizzy? And that's the last thing I remember.
Wow.
And then apparently I was out. The surgery was like probably like 30 minutes. I was out for like 2 hours.
That's crazy.
Before I woke up.
She literally just needed rest.
I did.
Like, let her sleep.
Poor Jake was just sitting in there. He also hadn't eaten. I was like, Jake, eat. And he was like, I'm not going to out of solidarity. I think he was just lazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jake, so we got there at like 10 a.m. It was like 6 p.m. when I woke up. He didn't go to the vending machine.
He wanted to wait with you while you didn't
like,
eat.
This was the other annoying thing too, is like I was so hungry before that I was like, I'm going to get Shake Shack. I'm going to get sushi. And
I remember you saying I'm going to get Shake
like,
Shack.
You can't have greasy or like heavy food because you're going to be so nauseous from the anesthesia.
Like whatever.
But I will say that is the worst nausea I've ever had. And like being how hungry I could barely eat soup. That's how awful. You know it's bad.
That's awful.
So I wake up and I'm in this room and this lady's over me and there's like other people in beds around me. We're just in this big room and I was like,
it literally is like being birthed.
And I was like, do I have a hospital cup? Do I get to keep it? And they were like, yeah.
I remember you saying that.
And I was like, I get to keep the cup? And they were like, yeah. And she was like, do you want anything to eat? And I was like, yes, please. So she brought me ginger ale and she brought me some crackers and she brought me Jell-O and she brought me some water. And so then I had to just lay. I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
I just had to lay there and they kept feeding me more drugs until I like kind of started to feel a little better. And then they wheeled me back up to the room and they called Jake in. And they were like, all right, like you can put your clothes. Or I was like, I need to pee. Literally couldn't walk. So Jake had to like help me. I'm like hobbling in my gown to the bathroom, like struggling. And then they were like, you can change. And then I laid down again and they put me in the wheelchair and they sent me home. And
that's awesome.
I went home and I think I had like one pierogi and maybe a couple bites of soup, and then I was like, I literally can't do this, and I went to bed. That's the story of my butt surgery.
And that's the tale of Ruby's butt.
And then it was like 2 months of recovery when they said it would be 2 weeks.
Yeah, we remember.
But anyways, still peace and love to all my doctors.
Oh,
might have to be getting another surgery.
Yeah, nose job, baby.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Yeah. I hope you get Ruby and I both have deviated septums.
Yeah.
Let's go.
When I said that yesterday, I went to the ENT and I was like, yeah, I have, like, the doctor said I have a deviated septum. He goes, well, nobody's septum is perfectly straight.
Go like this. Tilt your head back.
It's on this side.
That's yours.
And it juts into this side.
Yours, not it's to like be mean. Yours isn't as deviated as mine is.
Oh, yeah.
Because look at mine.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
You see how it's like thin? I hope you have to get a nose job because I want to know how it is. Because I'm considering it.
Like for your deviated septum or because you want a nose job?
No, for my deviated septum. Yeah. I didn't realize that everyone can breathe out of both nostrils.
I didn't realize that you're not supposed to have 2 headaches a week.
Yeah. Look at us.
And here we are.
Crazy. Yeah. When I get sick, I get stuffy in one nostril and the other one is just, I never can breathe out of it. Yeah. So I've just become a mouth. It's crazy.
I didn't realize that you're not supposed to cough up blood every time you have a nosebleed.
Yeah. I mean, adulting is so awesome. You realize that stuff that you have issues with, no one else does.
And then you pay thousands of dollars to fix it.
Or you just ignore it.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't think I will, but I honestly kind of hope I do.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want a little nose job. I just want to fix my bridge.
Just restructuring.
My bridge. I just want to restructure my bridge.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny bit. And that's not a crime.
True. Have I ever talked about when I had nodes? It's getting to the point now, guys, where my memory is slipping so hard of podcasts. I think you have,
but I'm not positive. I know that you had nodes because I just think of Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
Because she has nodes.
And everyone thinks that's like they think it's first of all made up, which is so valid because it's in Pitch Perfect, but it's real and I had it.
That's crazy.
And
that's crazy you can say I had nodes.
Right. People think I did it for attention. I remember in high school, like I would have to go on vocal rest and people would think I did it for attention. I feel like we have talked about this.
You're like,
no, and because I literally couldn't.
It makes sense.
I lost my voice so much and my vocal cords had hemorrhaged, which is not good. And then they didn't heal from the hemorrhage and I got nodes. So,
that's terrible.
I went through voice therapy and I'm a better human being now. That's awesome.
And that's why she has the voice for radio.
Facts. I remember them being like, what career do you want to go into? And I was like, at the time, news. And they were like, oh, so you're going to need your voice. And I was like, what? You're going to take my voice box out?
What are you, Ursula?
Yeah, come on. Come on now.
Okay. Last time I checked that we didn't live under the sea.
So true. I went to the gynecologist. Sorry if you're a man and you're listening to this.
No, don't apologize because they need to hear this.
So true. I went to the gynecologist and we've definitely brought this up before, but something special happens when you turn 21 and you have to get a pap smear.
They keep texting me. They're like, come back again.
And
I'm like, no.
It's so awesome being there. One, because just like as a woman, I'm like, I feel so empowered.
I don't. I feel violated.
At the gynecologist?
Well, here's the thing. My normal doctor does that stuff. Like, I don't have a set and I feel like I need that.
That's probably why.
The one doctor that has seen every single part of me, she left.
I'm sorry.
And she didn't tell us. Well, the doctors didn't tell us. And I was like, she's the only woman I trust. And now she's gone, so.
I think you would have a different experience had you just had a gynecologist.
I think so too. Maybe
because it's just me and a bunch of women, and like my gynecologist is so cool.
Yeah.
And also, like when you go to the gynecologist, it's either for your period or for your pregnancy. Yeah. And most of the time, it's for your pregnancy. But I go for my period, and I gotta wear this gown that they make pregnant women wear.
Oh, so you're walking around
so I literally was like in this gown with gave like a hole.
Oh my
for,
God.
Like, my pregnancy, and they sit you in the same chair that they put pregnant people in. So I'm sitting there with my feet up, like, and I'm not gonna lie, it was comfy. It was comfy when I was sitting there, and then she starts exploring, and it's just a little uncomfy, but she was so nice about it.
You should be like, hey, girl, can I get an ultrasound real quick for fun? I just want to feel the gel.
The gel, yeah.
Yeah.
Ruby and I are two examples of, like, good versions with getting your pap smear for the first time and bad versions. Because mine was all right, but Ruby's was just a little, she struggled a little.
Mine was so painful.
Yeah.
So...
Someday.
Now I'm traumatized, but someday. At the end of the day, you have to get it done. Young women are the highest risk for cervical cancer, and also cardiac arrest.
That's awesome to hear.
But I'm gonna get CPR trained.
I'm CPR trained.
Good.
It's probably expired.
I need to get AED trained too.
Yeah.
Because
I was both of those.
It's
I got both of that in high
16 to 22 years old.
Yeah.
You're the most at risk. But I'm out of there now. I'm 23, so I don't have to worry.
Pack it up.
Knock on wood.
Your friend is still in that age range.
I'm still I'll get certified so I can save your life.
If you were to write a book, what would the plot of the book be?
Oh.
Mine involves a gynecologist, which is why I asked this.
I know. Oh, so like not about my life.
No, a romance book.
We've talked about this.
We have talked about this so
off the record
many times.
I think childhood crush to lovers.
Yeah.
You don't see each other for a while and then you reconnect.
In the movie theater parking lot.
Okay. And you're wearing a outfit and you're looking your absolute worst. And you hear your name, and you look over, and you say, okay, this is happening. And you're with your best friend, who then plays The One That Got Away by Katy Perry as you cry in the car.
The boy next door. The one that got away.
Truly.
I think that would be a great novel.
I'll write it.
Childhood lovers to, childhood friends to later down in life lovers.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Like,
that
you're
we don't
so
see
close, you lose touch, you reconnect. Yep. I'm going to write it.
You almost go to prom together, but then something happens and you don't. And he's kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
This is all completely hypothetical,
guys. This is all
guys.
just us making it up. We just found out that Christina Lauren is
the same
two people.
Person.
Wait. It's two people.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
What did I say?
The same person.
We can't.
So we're gonna be Georgia Ruby.
Georgia Ruby. So look forward to that book.
Yeah. What's yours, Georgia?
Mine is about bear with me because okay. Mine is about this girl who like has problems with her period a lot. So she goes to the gynecologist a lot. And she has a close relationship with her gynecologist. And every time she's there, as they do, they say, "Are you sexually active?" And she says no. And she's like, "We got to find you we got to find you someone. We got to find you a man." And she's like, no, like, I'm too busy, whatever. And then she like, somehow, this part's a little rocky, guys. Yeah. I'm still working on it. It's just a draft. Somehow she runs into this guy who's really cute, whatever. And they start talking a little bit. And
One thing leads to another.
One thing leads to another, and come on, something happens. And then she goes to her gynecologist again, and she's like, are you sexually active? And she's like, yes. And she's like, oh my God, like, who is it? And she was like, no, like, it's really nothing, whatever. Flash forward, she goes to dinner at her boyfriend's house. Her boyfriend's mom is the gynecologist. I think that's fire.
That's so good.
I think that's fire.
And it can be like, what could we call it?
OBGY love you. OBGY love
OBGY/N. Like, in Wattpad books,
yes!
It's like YN your name.
That's so fire. Ugh. When Georgia Ruby published these novels, guys, it's so over.
It's game over. You guys are going to go to Barnes & Noble and be like, oh my God, Georgia Ruby, that's such a coincidence. And then you're going to read them and be like, wait a minute, this is literally the books they were talking about. Speaking of Georgia Ruby.
Who are they?
Who are they? So I keep having this funny experience. So you guys know the dog sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog sweatshirt is for University of Georgia.
Yeah.
So,
where the hell is this going?
You know this story.
Okay.
So I was at school once visiting everyone.
Okay.
And I'm wearing my dog sweatshirt. And I was going, I was with Georgia. I was with some of our friends. And, a lot of people at Millersville know who we are or like know us together, know the whatever. Like, we're associated with each other. You think of one, you think of the other, you see, So I'm going to the bathroom wearing my dog sweatshirt. I walk out and there's this guy there that I think works at Millersville. And he comes up and he goes, Georgia? And I say, no, Ruby. And he was like, what? And I was like, what? And he goes, your sweatshirt, University of Georgia. And I go, ooh. And I was like,
yes.
Yeah, go Dogs. And I said, funny story about this sweatshirt. And I had to tell him, I was like, my friend Georgia got this sweatshirt and I wanted it. And then she let me borrow it. And then I gave it back. And then she surprised me with one for Christmas. And then I wore it. And then, and that is not the only time that's happened.
We told that story on the podcast that we have. That people know about.
Exactly.
So
I was like, I just assumed that you thought I was Georgia. And he was just like, okay.
Didn't care.
The other day I was at Grand Central Bagel wearing the sweatshirt. I go up, she goes, she doesn't even know you. She goes, Georgia? I said, no. Yes, I'm a fan. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Sick 'em. Whoop, whoop.
That's so funny.
I literally, so every time I wear it, I just don't, and people come up, they go, Georgia? And I go, no, Ruby.
That's embarrassing.
Ruby.
But if you know, you know.
It's happened so many times. It's a great conversation starter
It
piece.
is.
So many people are like, University of Georgia?
Right.
Go Dogs.
This, I didn't tell you this story.
Oh.
Because I wanted to tell it on the podcast.
Oh.
This is probably, I don't get embarrassed often. This is probably embarrassing.
That's huge.
I was in Boston.
Boston.
I was in Boston for my dear friend Carson's 21st birthday. Okay. And my friend Mari and I, we had just gotten out of the Uber. And Carson had met us at the hotel that we were staying at. And Carson's mom was generous enough to buy us the hotel room. And Carson, like, stayed with us, whatever. And it's a nice hotel. Like, it's a fancier hotel. And so we get out of the Uber, we have our suitcases, and this guy takes our suitcases. And I'm like, damn, like, they're going to take our suitcases up to the room. Like, okay. And Carson was like, George, you have to tip him. Like, if he's going to take your suitcase to your room, you have to tip him. Like, do you have cash?
I thought he was stealing your bags.
No. No, I wish. And I was like, oh, I don't think I have any cash. And then I looked and I had a $5. And I was like, is that enough? And she was like, yeah, it's probably enough. Just, like, give it to him. So we get in the lobby and I hand him a $5 bill. And he's like, oh, thank you. And then he left our suitcases and walked away.
Oh my God.
So I literally tipped him $5 for just moving our suitcases into the hotel room. And I thought he was going to take it up to the room. And Carson was like, Georgia, he probably thinks you're like filthy rich, just like handing out money.
Oh my God.
And the worst part is I kept seeing him everywhere and he would like smile at me. And I was like,
anymore?
I'm not giving you more money. Oh, I was so embarrassed. And it wasn't even like we had gotten dropped off right in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like he had helped us move it down the block or like
it was just
took
a couple
our car.
feet.
It was like I could have done it. And I thought
that's so funny.
But Carson always brings it up and I get so embarrassed.
Funny.
Like it's not that big of a deal.
That's hilarious.
It was awful. It was so awful. And I lost $5.
And you lost $5 at the end of the day.
At least he thinks I'm filthy rich.
That's hilarious. He probably remember that lady that tipped me? Oh wow, I wish she would come back and stay.
Oh my God, I can't ever go back. Hotel
etiquette is difficult though.
Yes, I hate hotels. Fun fact.
Really?
Yeah.
I love them.
I don't like staying in the same room as other people. Except for like people who don't snore. When we got the hotel with the bunk bed.
You mean like staying in a room with someone, not like staying in a room that someone else has been in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love hotels. I travel a lot for work, and so it's always fun to get to sleep in a hotel bed and, relax a little bit. I was just at a hotel last weekend up in Pittsburgh, and
Go Pip. I don't know why I said that. Okay.
It was very wellness oriented. They had yoga balls and yoga mats and like resistance bands in the rooms. Did I use them?
No, but it's nice that they were there.
Was there. I said, all right, period. I do hate though when hotels have restaurants and they don't have room service.
Yeah.
It's like the food is there.
Right.
Why?
What are we
doing?
Yeah.
Can you bring it to my room?
Yeah.
No. Not that I order room service often because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But sometimes
it's kind of hype. Room service is awesome.
They bring room service. Like, come on.
Okay.
That's
awesome. I'll eat.
Yeah. The first time, go ahead.
I just don't like hotels because, like, it's because of my brother. I'm sorry, Alex. You snore so bad.
Honestly,
and
though,
my dad too.
My mom.
Like, I'm sorry. It's awful.
If I'm sleeping in a room with my mom, I'm not enjoying it. No offense, Mom.
There are some people who I can get a hotel room with, like us. Like we don't snore.
No, we're normal. Just kidding.
But like, I just can't. I'll get so grumpy.
I do too. And it's like they can't help it either.
Right. And so I feel bad being mean.
Yeah, but like I'll wake my mom up and be like, "Mom, you're snoring." And then she's like, "Oh, sorry." And then she'll go back to bed and just
Alex
start
with the pillow.
That's a lot.
My aunt, do you want to hear the funniest story?
Yes.
My Aunt Gretchen, love her.
Love her.
Funniest person ever.
Facts.
My uncle snores. And she told me once, it's like gotten really bad. He like snores a lot. And like usually when he snores, she puts him on his back or like puts him on his side. Whatever he's not in, because that like adjusts their breathing or whatever. She said the one night his snoring was so bad she couldn't sleep. So she screamed at the top of her lungs and then went back to sleep. And he woke up and he was like, what? And she was like, what? Is something going on? And he had no idea. Like, because like when something wakes you up like that, you don't like register. I think about it so often.
How did that get him to stop snoring?
Because he would wake up. Like it would break his slumber and he'd have to reset. It's literally so funny. I don't think she like ever told him that either. I guess it's just her method when it gets like really bad.
I'm gonna try that.
It's so funny.
My mom would actually kill me.
Like what?
My sister got attacked in her sleep in a hotel.
What? How?
She was staying in a hotel in Disney with her friend.
When was this?
This was like a few years ago. And probably like 5 years. And she wakes up in the middle of the night and her friend is literally attacking her.
Wait, like her, okay, first of all, I thought it was going to be like a stranger.
No, her friend was like sleeping. It was like
beating her up.
clawing at her.
No way.
And Jada was like, what? She went and hid in the bathroom. She called my mom. She's like, Mom, she attacked me. Obviously, she didn't mean to. The girl didn't mean to. It's not like Jana could go like wake up her parents or anything, so she slept in the bathtub.
That's so scary.
And then of course the girl felt bad and everything.
Yeah.
I was just imagine just getting attacked like by someone sleeping.
Sleep attack. I feel like that's something I would do. I used to talk in my sleep. Apparently I don't anymore.
Same.
But
apparently I do. Jake would say that I did sometimes, which I don't believe him.
I used to like go to sleep at sleepovers and be like, if I speak, record it. Because I want to hear it. And for a while I had this app that would record me sleeping, and I never caught anything.
Damn it.
I guess I grew out of it. My sister would sleepwalk, however. I think one time she sleptwalked to my parents' room and then just threw up and then left. I think.
That's
or that's a weird
horrible.
dream I had.
My one friend growing up, she had like you know when there's like the friend that has the house.
Yeah.
Her house was that. It was beautiful. There was a movie theater in the basement. There was a huge pool and hot tub. Like it was epic. And she always had the best toys.
Of course.
Like it was so fun. And she slept walk. And the one time I woke up,
that's the price
we were
you
sleeping,
pay for having a cool house.
Right. We woke up upstairs. We were sleeping upstairs. I woke up. She was gone. I was like, where is she? I'm like looking around the room, looking in the bathroom. I'm like, where did she go? I walked down. She's in the living room, like asleep down there. Like down. She went downstairs.
That's
in her
crazy.
sleep. I was like, girl, what? And then her cat got into the room while I was looking. Then her cat wouldn't leave me alone, and I got allergies. So
Yeah, of course. That's crazy. The things people can do in their sleep.
Right?
Trinity, our friend Trinity, she was just telling me the other day that
she gives sleepwalker vibes.
She does. But she, like, first of all, she's told me many times that she's had dreams within dreams. So she'll be dreaming, and then she'll be dreaming about having a dream. And then she'll wake up from that dream and be like, I need to remember this dream.
Yeah.
And then type it in her notes.
Okay.
But she dreamt that she did that. So she wakes up and she's, like, mad.
Oh,
but also
that's crazy.
She's told me that she will wake up and she wants to remember her dreams, so she types them out like not a dream in a dream, but she'll then wake up and look at the notes and they'll just be like gibberish.
That's so
she showed me last night. She was going through her notes that it was
weird.
just like a couple of words that made sense and then like it trails off because she fell back asleep.
I was on something, maybe it was right after I got my wisdom, or no, I don't remember. I was on some medication for something that made me super like drowsy like that, and I texted people thinking it was like in my head I could see myself typing it and it was right, and then I read it back and it was complete nonsense, and it's like that's so weird because I was like, yeah, I'm typing this, and then I looked at it when I was like fine, and I was like, what the hell was I trying to say?
Yes, I similarly, when I was talking to this guy, we would be hanging out, whatever, and I would start to fall asleep. But I didn't want to fall asleep because we were hanging out. And so I would doze off into sleep and we would be having a conversation.
Oh my God.
And it was so crazy because somewhere in my mind and my mouth would get disconnected. So he'd be like, something random like, oh, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? And in my mind, I would think that I'm responding, and I'd be like, my favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream, and I got this really good cookies and cream milkshake from this place in Carlisle. And then my mouth would be like, the place in Carlisle was called Massey's Frozen Custard.
That's crazy.
And he would be like,
what?
Georgia, what? That would happen so many times, and then I would always be like, nothing, I'm not falling asleep, and he'd be like, I'm gonna go.
I fall asleep so much.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm sitting on a couch watching anything, I am falling asleep.
Toxic trait.
And I know when it's coming to. I go cross-eyed right before I fall asleep.
What?
I start going like that, and then everything gets really loud in my ears.
That's interesting.
And then I'm out. And like even in school, like I would always know.
You're like my dad.
And I would like fall asleep in class.
That's literally my dad.
Yeah. It happens a lot, especially when I'm watching Formula One, which is so weird because like I love watching Formula One, but sometimes I think it's just the noise that's just like a droning noise.
Yeah.
And like the sound. That's the same with football. Like I love watching football, but I can fall asleep to it so easy.
That's crazy.
Isn't that weird? Like growing up, I would put football on to fall asleep. But I also love it and like watch all the games during football season.
Yeah.
Like how does that? And I was talking to my friend Mariah about it. She said it's probably because it's like a comfort thing.
Yeah.
So it's like if I am tired, it just like lulls me to sleep because it's comforting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of annoying sometimes because I'll just be trying to watch this and then all of a sudden I'm like fighting for my life on the couch.
She's a
big sleeper. Then I'll hear things, like I'll still be kind of conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be like, I can kind of tell what's going on the screen, or like I'm like in and out. And then I wake up and I always pretend like I didn't just fall asleep. And my mom is always like, Ruby, you were asleep. And I'm
That's
like,
so
I
funny.
don't know what you're talking about.
That's literally my dad.
Yeah.
My dad does that.
Now I'm like really excited to go to sleep. Sleep is just the best. Like
that's how we refuel.
Oh, can I tell one more thing?
All right.
One more thing. Guys, I have a new method to go to sleep.
Here we go.
They're called bedtime stories for adults.
That's crazy.
Well, now they're bedtime stories for everyone. And I've talked about it a little bit when we talked about podcasts we like.
Mm-hmm.
This girl, Catherine Nicolai, God bless this woman. I fall asleep within 10 seconds every time I hear her voice. She goes, welcome back to bedtime stories.
And Ruby goes,
literally, I have not made it to the story part in the last like 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
She has you take a deep breath. I haven't even made it to the deep breath. She knocks me out. And it's so funny though, because I am so invested in the stories because they all kind of go together. They're all in this town. And there's these two animals named Crumb and Marmalade. Oh. And I love them. Anytime there's a Crumb and Marmalade story, I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. And then I fall asleep.
Right.
But she has another one where she reads the same stories, but in a more upbeat voice, so I can hear the stories.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if you have trouble sleeping, bedtime stories for everyone.
Ruby and I had a sleepover, and she said, I guess I can't read my bedtime story, or can't listen to my bedtime story tonight. Yeah. And I was like,
that was the worst when Jake would be home and like we were going to bed because he couldn't fall asleep with noise, and I would literally just have to be like, okay, guess I'm the one giving up my stories. But most days I would go to bed like 4 hours before him, so I would just go and put the story on and then pass out, and
Life's
then he would
awesome.
come in. It really is. So check it out, everyone.
From hospital to sleep. This was epic and awesome.
Honestly, low-key a full circle because we were talking about anesthesia.
That's true.
Full circle moment.
Let's go.
Woo!
Wow. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 38 of Hyper Talkative Podcast. We hope you loved it.
And the episode after next,
there's going to be a guest.
Is the 10th.
Who's it going to be?
Who knows? We're still trying to figure it out.
We are.
Don't come flooding our DMs. We have some options already.
The more that you say you want to be on the podcast, the less we want to have you on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow us on social media at Hyper Talkative Podcast on Instagram and TikTok.
Just don't DM us.
Facts.
About that.
At Hyper Talkative on Twitter/X, and we have a website, www.hypertalkativepodcast.com.
And on that note, and you know what? I should start saying this to myself before I go to bed. Peace be with you.
And with you. Hyper Talkative Podcast is brought to you by us. Just us.
Unless you want to sponsor us. Wink, wink.
Hyper Talkative is recorded at the Candy Factory Co-working and Social Club in downtown Lancaster.
Our theme music was done by help from Johnny Jed Music, and the show is recorded, edited, and published by Georgia Hall and Ruby Murdoch.